A virtuous woman. What does this mean? How do we define a virtuous woman? I submit that when we hear the word virtuous woman, the majority of people imagine something like this. But let me ask you, why exactly do you think that this is a proper understanding of what virtuous woman means? Because someone told you this and you never question it, right? Now, when we say that a lot of people rush to argue that, oh no, it is written here or there. All right, guys, take the challenge. Tell me where it is written. Right here in the comments under this video. Take me up on this. I submit that at best, your argument will boil down to what we call in psychology inflated counter, meaning overcompensation. What this means is that in a zeal to avoid a negative situation or out of a burning desire to create a positive one, a person overcorrects their perception. Examples. We all know that money cannot buy happiness, right? Is it therefore a virtue to keep your family completely broke? Used to be. Some monks used to take a vow of poverty until it became apparent that this approach leads absolutely nowhere, both naturally and spiritually. Another example. There is a lot more to being a good person than outward appearance. But would it be a virtue to keep yourself ugly? Shave your head, maybe, to make darn sure. Would being ugly improve your inward character? Or, gluttony is wrong, right? One of the 7 deadly sins, in fact. It's unhealthy. It will make you fat. But does this mean that a person should be extremely careful to eat anything at any time? Or even eat at all? Some think so. It's called anorexia, a form of inflated countercompensation. I think you get my drift, so if you take me up on the challenge, none of these countercompensation arguments in the comments, please. If X, then this means it's Y. None of this. If you can give me a direct quote that says, a virtuous woman can be defined as X directly without any assumptions, conclusions, derivatives, or interpretations, do so. If not, look in the description of this video for the link that I'm leaving for you there and watch our video named Viruses of the Mind. It will shed some light on where you might have gotten your current definition of a virtuous woman. And while some are busy looking, I want to give you this direct quote myself. A direct quote that describes exactly what the definition of a virtuous woman is. And this quote comes from one of the most authoritative sources there is. There is a whole chapter on this subject in the Bible, describing the definition of a virtuous woman. So let's go through it, and you will see that what it describes is nothing like this. I'm going to go through the whole chapter and I will tie what's in there with what we know in psychology today. It's amazing how these things match. It literally fascinates me. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button under the video and hit the bell so that you receive a notification when the next video comes out. It's going to take me more than one video to explain the whole chapter, but let's get started at least. So the first line reads, who can find a virtuous woman? She's to be valued far above rubies. And what are rubies? Red precious stones, right? Yes, they are pretty spendy, but why not say diamonds if you're trying to underscore the price here? Diamonds are even more expensive. That's because there is a lot more to rubies than what most people know today. Let's look at some lost legacies of what rubies are. The legacies that I'm sure were alive and well understood and used back in the day when these words were written. Ruby is a crystal that is historically known as a stone of love and wisdom. It is also known as a very resilient stone, which is practically invulnerable to any kind of outward influence. In our modern terms, this means that just like a diamond, a ruby is a very hard stone and it will cut glass before glass cuts it, basically. In crystal healing, rubies are known as the stones that can protect against any kind of evil, mitigate risk, and shield from hidden or unknown enemies which a person may fail to recognize on his own and even think to be friends. Being red in color, this stone belongs to the element of fire. In energy medicine, it is known as the stone that can kindle love and passion, and thus giving someone a ring with a ruby has been known to increase the chance of reciprocity in that relationship. Old school doctors use ruby water to help stop bleeding, lower fevers, lower blood pressure, alleviate back pain, and even help balance metabolism. But one of the most renowned properties of the ruby is its ability to inspire, to motivate towards accomplishing great things, to go beyond what a person used to believe was possible for them. There are many records confirming this. Ruby makes every good person even better. It's been known to help fighters for the truth win their battles, help wise men gain even more wisdom, and help those who are in uncertainty in getting the right outcomes in even most difficult decisions. Now, let's look at the power of the woman's potential. If you've been following our videos, you will know that we've been discussing these qualities already. It is undeniable that us, women, have magic superpowers. And one of those powers is the power to accomplish things, to make things happen. And the woman who is using her potential correctly accomplishes these things with a powerful instrument that she has at her disposal, her man's hands. The woman who is using her potential correctly can and will inspire a man to achieve his best in life, often for her sake. We see this in all big events in history, and hence was coined the saying, "Charger la femme." This French phrase literally means seek the woman. It's an old wisdom advising that in any significant event, one needs to find the woman behind it all. Cold murders are being solved using this principle, and many historical intrigues and revolutions were based on it as well. But even in our everyday routines, remember the song, because you are mine, I walk the line. Men are driven to find better jobs, to overcome bad habits, and to change their lives because of the woman that they get involved with. So, the woman has an incredible power to accomplish the impossible by using her man's action. And what is the most renowned power of the ruby? To inspire the accomplishment of great things. Are you starting to see the parallel here? Who do you call to put a band-aid on your bleeding stretch? To whom do you turn when you are running a fever? Dr. Mom, of course. Who kisses things better when it hurts? Talking to whom can lower your blood pressure after a stressful day at work? Whose cooking and eating habits will determine the entire household health median? Now rewind the video and take another look at the healing properties of a ruby. Who can inspire love and heat things up like a literal element of fire? Who has a hidden sense of who is who, can read people like a book, and is able to warn you against hidden enemies. To whose advice do you turn when you're not sure what to do? Who is tough and resilient in any circumstances long after men wimp out? Now go back and look what happens in crystal healing. Now, those of you who know a thing or two about working with crystals know that it's a lot of work. You need to soak the rocks in water. You need to use them right. It can be a hassle. And the effect is often very subtle. So, in comparison, what is better to have? A magic rock that can create inspiration, empowerment, and wisdom, or the right kind of woman, meaning that virtuous woman, the one that's got the same virtues by your side. Indeed, her value is far above rubies. So don't miss the next video where I'm going to dig into the next line of this text.